are no strings on me.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Connors, your primitive AK here, back with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be covering the top 4 best snipers to be using and comparing their stats inside of Warzone. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We got a lot of data, a lot of information to cover in this video, and we have a pretty short time to do it. So I'm going to try to get through this as efficiently as possible for you guys and make it as clear as possible so that everybody can understand exactly what I'm talking about in this video. So make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications, as we will be covering Warzone content for also Black Ops Cold War when that comes out, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we'll also be covering new content when the embargo list for the game tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. The first Cold War video will be going up, so make sure you guys have those notifications on so you never miss a video. So today's video, if you would like to skip through a specific area, I have timestamps in the video description itself and also throughout the video, so you can skip through a specific area that you are interested in. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. Today we're going to be covering the HDR versus the KAR98 versus the AX50 versus the SPR208 inside of Modern Warfare Warzone. So the reason why we're covering this is because Warzone will become its own standalone game. I mean, it already is its own standalone game, but these weapons will continue to be very popular weapons when Cold War drops and the integration happens where they merge Cold War with Modern Warfare into Warzone. So you'll still be able to use these weapons inside of Warzone come Cold War in Season 1 when that drops. So let's talk about the damage of all 4 of these snipers. So overall damage, I basically have all the numbers listed so you guys can see what's going on here, but for the most part, the HDR is going to have the highest damage in terms of its headshot damage, but in terms of its body shot damage, the SPR actually wins. So if you're an aggressive type of sniper, the SPR208 is actually going to be the way to go in this case because of the fact that it has a base damage of 167 damage, but this is the catcher here. When it comes to Warzone, you're going to obviously want to make sure that you're aiming for the head so you can guarantee that one-shot kill. And that is where the guns like the HDR and the AX50 actually win up close. And because of this, I recommend, if you're looking to just land nothing but headshots, the HDR and the AX50 are going to be the ways to go in this case. The other 2 contesters, the KAR98 and also the SPR, you see they have roughly about 172 to 186 headshot damage. But the fact that, you know, things like range can come into play and a lot of other factors may alter that number. This is why the HDR and the AX50 still maintain the best spot when it comes to the best snipers. Now obviously we don't have the Cold War guns here yet to test out what are the best snipers, but once those do come out, we'll be sure to cover those as well. Moving on to range, the base one-shot range of a lot of these weapons is actually pretty similar. So if you pay attention to some of these numbers here, you see once again the HDR is coming out on top with the highest amount of range, coming in at 55 meters of range, and also the AX50 is coming in pretty close as well at about 48 meters. I couldn't get an exact number for KAR98, but numbers that I saw popping up were very similar to the SPR208. It was roughly about 53 to 55 meters, very close to the HDR, which is the base one-shot range for this weapon. But if you're looking for just base one-shot range for, you know, obviously headshot damage, these numbers are more meant for multiplayer. The HDR is probably going to be the way to go, so that way, like I mentioned, that headshot damage is where it comes into play. Moving on, rate of fire. This is another big one that a lot of people are concerned about. HDR by far, I know we mentioned the HDR being on top of pretty much all statistics, but unfortunately it actually has the worst rate of fire out of any of these weapons. And the HDR is going to come in at 42 rounds per minute, KAR98 at 54 rounds per minute, AX50 at 48, SPR at 47, and if you use the barrel, the featherweight bolt, that gives you 57. So if you're looking to get follow-up shots as quickly as possible and you're not necessarily worried about getting that one-shot headshot, you know, with patience, of course, you're going to want to go with either the SPR208 with the featherweight bolt attachment or the KAR98. KAR98 is still a very good gun, but obviously the issue is its damage at range and also its headshot capability is actually pretty weak compared to the other ones. But if you're looking to just hit follow-up shots and you don't really care about headshots, I think a weapon like the SPR208 will be a very good option for you. So another thing we want to talk about is bullet drop. Bullet drop is essentially how much range your weapon has at the time until it starts falling off, meaning it'll basically go in a big arc and it'll start to fall off of damage, and also the bullet will start to hit the ground a little bit sooner. So moving on at bullet drop, the HDR is pretty much non-existent past 200 plus meters. This is a little bit of an unconfirmed number, unfortunately. I did have my best to try and search a number from multiple YouTubers and content creators and also data websites. I couldn't find an exact number as to what the damage fall off is. The KAR98, however, is very noticeable. After about 100 meters, you'll start to see that drop. So you're gonna have to aim a little bit higher to the head, roughly about like less than like a millimeter in that case. On your screen, and that way you can land the headshot. The AX50 you'll start to notice at about 180 to 200 meters, and the SPR208 actually has the worst bullet drop out of any of these weapons, falling off at about 80 meters. It's not too dramatic. Like if you have a target about 150 to 200 meters out, you can aim generally about less than a centimeter on your screen above their head and you'll still get the one-shot kill. But anything outside of that, you're probably going to have issues trying to hit your target. So moving on, another big thing that people want to know when it comes to these snipers is the ADS speed. This is a very important factor when it comes to your snipers, because obviously if you're in a one-on-one battle with another sniper, you're not going to want to get outshot, and you want to make sure that you can ADS as fast as possible. So the ADS speed of the HDR is going to be 600 milliseconds at your base. Your minimum ADS speed is going to be 416 milliseconds, maximum at 966, and the TAC laser can reduce that all the way down to about 500 milliseconds. KAR98 is pretty much divide that by 2 almost, coming in at 300 milliseconds at base, 250 milliseconds at your minimum, and 966 at your max. And TAC laser can reduce that all the way down to about 266 milliseconds. So you can have some pretty long ADS speeds with these weapons, but reduce that down to a bit, using other attachments, you can bring that down by a lot. The AX50 is very similar to the HDR. It actually has a slower ADS speed when it comes to its base, but it actually has a faster ADS speed when you put certain attachments on it. So with the base ADS speed is going to be at 617 milliseconds, 366 as your minimum with certain attachments, and 933 as your maximum. TAC laser can bring the maximum all the way down to about 500 milliseconds, and the SPR208 is going to have the third best ADS speed out of all of these, coming in at 353 milliseconds base, 216 milliseconds at your minimum, 383 at your max, and also your TAC laser can bring the max all the way down to about 283. And the ADS speed with some of these scopes as well. Unfortunately, I could not pull data for ADS speed with scopes for the SPR208, but for those that are curious, with the HDR, with no other attachments, you get 533 with your VLK, 550 with your Scout. Thermal is going to be about 650, variable at 600. The same is the case for the AX50 besides the thermal sight, and the KAR98 is going to come in a little much faster at 318 with your VLK, 417 with your Scout, thermal at 450, and variable at 390. So overall, we got very good ADS speeds with a lot of these weapons here. If I were to make a personal recommendation, if you really care about ADS speed, I personally think that the KAR98 is actually going to be the way to go in terms of ADS speed. It has the best ADS speed. Like I said, the headshot damage is still a declining factor with this weapon, so if you're looking to maintain that high damage at range, the KAR98 is not going to be the way to go. Overall, personal recommendations with all these stats, take it what you will. It's up to you entirely as to what weapon you want to use. But if I were to make a personal recommendation, and I feel bad saying this, but the HDR is still going to be the way to go when it comes to a lot of these snipers. HDR still comes in at the #1 slot for me. And the reason for that is because of its headshot damage and long range capabilities. A lot of your fights when it comes to snipers are going to be at long to extreme ranges. You're not really going to get a medium range gunfight with a sniper, which is why weapons like the SPR208 and the KAR98 just cannot compete, in my opinion, when it comes to that. They're really only meant for aggressive snipers. Like, if you're trying to join FaZe, then yeah, the KAR98 is probably going to be the way to go for that one. If you're just trying to hit crazy no scope, quick scopes across at medium ranges. But overall, if you're just looking to get kills, you're looking to pick up some easy kills and snipe people across the map with ease and helping your teammates out, giving them sniper cover, the HDR is just going to be the way to go. But if you are a hyper aggressive, you know, phase wannabe, phase 5 clan tag, sweaty loser, I'm just joking by the way, but if you are one of those types of players that likes to just do crazy things with snipers, the SPR208 and the KAR98 are actually going to be the two best snipers for that aggressive play style. Guys, I hope this helped you guys out. I hope you learned something new. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Hopefully this helps any new players that are coming into Warzone, whether it be from Cold War or Modern Warfare, as their Warzone will be continuously updated throughout Cold War, and a lot of these weapons will be potent throughout Warzone, and they're more than likely going to be commonly used. You'll probably still see more of the HDR being used in a lot of these games, but hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. It is your boy Carnage, or Primitive AK, signing out. Peace out, fellas.